This UDR was loaned to me for my book research. The owner is careful, he maintains it, he takes his machine seriously. But when I put it on the bench and worked through it systematically, I found 7 assembly mistakes. Not from negligence, not from corner cutting, but the kind of small habits that nobody flags because nobody is watching closely enough. That is exactly what I'm here to do. One weak assembly decision propagates through the system. It doesn't stay isolated. This is why a systematic inspection matters, not just a visual pass, a protocol. So let us go through what I've found. Mistake 1. Over-tightening. The upper damper fasteners are pulling at their frame too tightly. The floorboard showed visible deformation in 2 locations. Over-tightening feels like good practice, more torque, more secure. But that logic does not apply to a vehicle with predominantly plastic threads and composite structures. The screw wins, the plastic loses. The solution is straightforward, a torque-sensitive screwdriver. Not a digital instrument, a simple driver with a mechanical slip mechanism. It removes the guesswork and it removes the risk. In some locations, like the front suspension arm mounts, the screw length determines the adequate torque. When the screw starts to protrude at the other end, that's it, it's far enough. Any tighter than that risks stripping the threads. And this is a part of the chassis which might not be costly, but it is annoying to replace. Second, excessive thread locking application. I found thick beads around several fasteners, not controlled drops. At 34.5 euros for 50 milliliters of Loctite 243, waste alone is a concern. But the real risk is this. Over-application on a fastener that later needs removal may require more breakaway torque than the screw head or tool bit can handle. Also, Loctite belongs on metal-to-metal connections, like the drive shaft securing pin, alloy differentials, and the wheels. One small drop on the tip of the fastener is all that's required. On plastic threads it does nothing. The product is formulated to work with metal applications only. Third, the suspension uniballs and rose joints were dry. This area receives almost no attention in standard maintenance guides, and it is one of the most consequential ones. Fine dust infiltrates these joints. When moisture is introduced, that dust becomes a grinding paste. Unlike a sealed bearing, these joints are open to the environment. The wear rate in that condition is exponential. The solution is light lubrication like sewing machine oil, applied with a needle applicator. Apply it, then wipe the excess immediately. Oil that sits on the surface will attract dust. Proper maintenance involves cleaning and lubricating after every run. The next 4 items move into more technical territory, and 2 of them, if left unaddressed, will result in component failure, not degradation, failure. Fourth, hardware misplacement. The front differential to chassis fasteners were installed from underneath the vehicle where they should be installed from the top. This is an orientation error. The consequence is not immediate, but it affects structural rigidity. While driving, strain on the chassis happens in an uncontrolled manner and can lead to significant damage. My recommendation is to photograph every fastener location before disassembly. The Traxxas parts diagrams also cover this. And the UDR maintenance book will address every major assembly with illustrated step-by-step procedures. Fifth, excess grease in the drivetrain. The instinct is understandable. If some grease is good, more is better, right? Excess grease collects contamination, migrates where it does not belong, and creates drag. Through its brilliant design, the UDR gives you good access to all grease points. Use it regularly. Apply lightly and reapply on a schedule. That's the correct approach. Not one application every 6 months, and certainly not caking the component. Sixth, the differential X-ring. A small component with an outsized impact on handling. If the X-ring is not seated correctly during assembly, it collapses. The differential fluid leaks over time, and you develop handling inconsistencies that present a setup problem, not an assembly problem. That's the worst kind of failure to diagnose. I have covered the correct fitting procedure in full detail in the UDR Maintenance Masterclass video. What I will say here is this: spending a few extra seconds here pays over time. And seventh, damper bladder collapse. This is the failure mode with the most severe consequence, and it can appear from two separate causes. The first is improper fitment. If you place the bladder onto the damper body and then screw the cap down, the bladder will almost certainly collapse. The correct method is to seat the bladder into the groove inside the cap first, then tighten the cap onto the damper body by hand. No tools. The second cause is more insidious, X-ring wear leading to low oil level. As the oil level drops, the damper creates suction on rebound. Once that suction gets strong enough, it can pull the bladder into the body. This is why monitoring for damper leakage matters. Leakage on the UDR is a normal occurrence. It's not a weakness of the design. It's a signal, an early indicator that the X-rings need attention. Address it at that stage and you protect the bladder. Ignore it and the damper will completely fail unpredictably. 7 mistakes, all found on a single vehicle, owned by a careful hobbyist. That's the important context. These are not the errors of negligence, they are the errors of assembly habits that were never examined closely enough. That is the gap between standard RC maintenance and professional grade ownership. And it's exactly the gap I'm working to close through this channel, through the book, and through the R&D department on Patreon, where I'll document and test procedures before they appear anywhere else. If you own a UDR or if you are considering the platform, the link to the Patreon R&D department is in the description below. That is where the detailed procedures are developed, tested and published first, so you can download and test them for yourself before they reach this channel or the book. The differential X-ring fitting procedure and many other useful procedures are in the Masterclass video coming up next. And if this kind of inspection is useful to you, a subscription here ensures you don't miss the next one. I'll see you then.